Oh my God. All right. I think I'm ready to have this discussion. I'm caffeinated and I'm well fed. All right. Twin flames. Twin flames are what people think soulmates are. Twin flames are when your soul gets split apart, okay, on your way down here. And not that you're less of a soul for having a twin flame, but it's like a magnetic clink when you meet that other person. Now, people constantly misguided about that because as a female, we absolutely want our specific romantic partner to be that person to us. Not necessarily going to happen. The other problem is that we run into wound mates, not soulmates, wound mates, and end up in some sort of karmic marriage, not necessarily marriage, but karmic marriage. Okay. Why not? So, okay, I've mentioned three things already. All right, twin flames. All right, wound mates, karmic marriage. Okay. I am married. Is it my twin flame? No. Is it my soulmate? Nope. Is it my wound mate? Yes. Am I in a karmic marriage as well as a regular marriage? Yes. Is that wrong? No. He is not my twin flame. He is not my soulmate. He's my partner. And it's hard to have that stigma on somebody because in romantic relationships we want, especially as young women and men, we want to find our perfect partner as soon as possible and start a life together. We forget that when we're young, we're still learning about ourselves. And without knowing ourselves, how can we give ourselves to someone else? You can't, I'm still constantly learning things about myself that change the dynamic of a lot of my relationships, not just my romantic relationship or my partnership relationship. Does that mean that I am guaranteed in this lifetime to find a twin flame or a romantic soulmate? No, absolutely not. We are not guaranteed anything in this life, and that's the reality of it. Do I think that everybody has somebody? Yes, absolutely. I think that everybody has somebody. I don't think that everyone necessarily has their own twin flames. I think that that's a very special thing. Now, will you meet your wound mate? Yes, absolutely. Every single one of us will meet our wound mate. What is a wound mate? A wound mate is someone that shares your pain, so much so that you think it's probably a soulmate or a twin flame, and it turns out they were just there to teach us a lesson, particularly a lesson about pain and specific wounds that we are supposed to be learning about and growing through in this lifetime. Long-term wound mates are usually through a karmic marriage. I'm trying to cover all my names here. And I keep going kissy when I do karmic marriage. Not necessarily. In fact, a lot of karmic marriages are extremely damaging. They say that we end up in karmic marriages when we owe somebody something from a past life. All right? It's not necessarily true. A lot of really good mediums I know had karmic marriages in order to get their children. I don't know how that works. I don't know why that is, but I've got my kids, all right? I'm done. It's tough. It's tough in general because hindsight is 20/20, okay? Realizing the reality of a relationship is very difficult when you're in the middle of it. It just is, okay? Especially someone that we want to be with, but then we break up, and you get that deal, and you break up, and you're like, if you've done it more than twice, if you've broken up more than twice, stay broken up. That's how it is. Little life advice, yay. Not anything to you except maybe a wound mate, all right? And I think that's how we get sucked back in. We can't possibly make room in our life for a twin flame or a soulmate until we get rid of all our bad crap. Again, that's E equals MC squared. You have to have room in your life to add good things. And in order to have room, you have to get rid of bad things. It sounds easy. It's not, especially when you're in the middle of it. So, Prince Charming or Princess Charming, depending, of course. How will you know that it is your twin flame? You'll know. It's like people asking, how do you know if you're in love? You'll know. And you will know. But I find that the most common traits of finding a soulmate is just overwhelming joy. Okay? In the wound mate, you will have the beginning, you will have the joy, but that wears off so quickly. And when you find that the only thing in common that you have is your pain, you need to ditch and run. Okay? Learn your lesson and get out. Soulmates lift you up, support you, love you, are always there. Same thing with a twin flame. Okay, the twin flame difference between a soulmate is a specific level of understanding. It's like your best friend. If you've known your best friend for a month, you know a month's worth of stuff about your best friend. If you know your best friend for 17 years, you know a lot more. But twin flames have a specific level of understanding where you meet them, you just, and a lot of times it's a more psychic connection, it's a more talented connection than what a soulmate would be. That really is the difference for me. Now, can you have a twin flame in a non-romantic relationship? Absolutely. I find specifically that happens way more often with women than with men. And I wondered personally a long time ago if that was the stigma regarding homosexuality. That's not necessarily true. You can absolutely love your twin flame with all your heart and not have a romantic relationship. Obviously, I can't tell you what to do, disclaimer. But yeah, absolutely it is possible to have a twin flame and not have a romantic relationship. I think women are more likely to discuss that than men, especially in a spiritual realm, because there just are more women. And I think that as a community, we tend to connect more with our soulmates and people of higher vibrations in our community than we would elsewhere. If you think it is your twin flame, wait till your first argument, like big argument, not where do you want to eat argument, like the car broke down and we suddenly need to find $2,000 to fix it argument. Okay. I don't know why money always drags us down to the lowest common denominator. It just kind of does. Your argument with your twin flame. Okay. They call them twin flames for a reason. Not only do they burn bright for good, but they explode for bad. Okay. Because you have found your twin flame, you are not guaranteed happily ever after. It is still a relationship you're going to have to work at. Your path doesn't suddenly merge to become one with the other person's. It just means you travel your paths together. Okay? Hopefully you had parallel paths, but not necessarily. And it's hard, especially when you have differentiating paths, to decide how to monitor your relationship. Okay. Oh my goodness, this is such an odd thing to talk about. I feel like I've covered the basics. Karmic marriage. Let me just say a few things about karmic marriage. A lot of times, like I mentioned, karmic marriages are bad. Okay. Occasionally they are abusive, and that sucks. Get out. A karmic marriage is specifically a union of two people, not necessarily a legal marriage. A union of two people to learn a lesson and be done. And that's it. That's it, okay? If you stay any longer, then you haven't learned your lesson. Learn your lesson and get out. Because a karmic marriage is not good for you. Karmic marriage is typically terrible for you. You pay back your debt and you get out, okay? of course, again, easier said than done a lot of times, especially if you're actually married. But it is something that you really need to be careful as a sensitive person, as a talented person. What am I doing in this relationship? How did I get here? Am I willing to apply labels to this right now? Is it my soulmate? Is it my wound mate? Is it my twin flame? Am I doing this to pay off karmic debt? Is someone else doing this to pay off karmic debt to me? Okay. What am I here for? And if you're not happy, you should reevaluate your relationship. Okay. If you're with a twin flame, that doesn't mean it's going to be joyous all the time. It's not. Okay. Your bad times are going to be awful, but the good times are going to be great. And you're going to find as your relationship goes forward, you can have less and less bad times because you're learning more about each other rather quickly. Okay. Do I know twin flames who are not married? Yes. I know twin flames that have a kind of relationship but are not in a relationship. I know twin flames, they're in relationships. I don't know, personally, I'm kind of worried about finding my twin flame. I mean, that's kind of a heavy duty kind of thing, you know. If you get a twin flame, normally that, you know, you're bound for something big, you know. I would much rather have a partner to love and support me, but you know, dating sucks. I don't care what age you are. I don't care what your relationship status is. Finding a new partner is exhausting and difficult, and a lot of us just try and deal with the one that we have. But I would ask you to evaluate your relationship if you're not happy with it, and to find something that makes your heart sing with joy. Okay? It might not necessarily be a twin flame. A lot of us hold out hope. I am seeking a mate. I do not date. I've said that for forever. And I really like that mantra. So, do I think there's a twin flame out there for me? I hope. You know, I think everybody hopes. I've already had a wound mate. You know, I'm lucky enough to have a few soulmates. But I'm happy with that. That's enough for me. If you feel like you need somebody else to fulfill your life, if you feel like you're looking for the other half of your soul, keep looking. That's all I can say. If you absolutely positively believe that no matter what, there is someone else for you, there probably is. I'm certainly not going to tell you otherwise. Hope. Let me know. Tell me you found them. Give me hope for joy. But, you know, it's very difficult to give a list of signs and symptoms for being psychic, let alone signs and symptoms for finding your twin flame. But the book, that's what, you know, it's funny. Where is it? I don't know. The one by Elizabeth Clare. That's actually a good reading for twin flames. I like that a lot. And it discusses her story and how she found her better half. And, you know, they still had arguments because it's a real relationship. But they got through it together, and that's the big thing. Wound mates tend to split apart. Soulmates stick together and work on things together. Twin flames, they're pretty much like glue magnets, you know. It's really cool to watch twin flames when they're around each other because it's like the Twilight thing. I can't help but think about that. It's like they orbit each other, you know, because they're so much in sync and so connected on so many levels that they just kind of, you know, you could see it from across the room that these two people, even if they're not talking to each other, standing next to each other, are with each other. And that's awesome. You know, is just awesome. Are a lot of psychic mediums lucky enough to meet their twin flames? I had to tell you, I know a lot of us that are single. Does that mean there's not somebody out there for us? Of course not. There's always somebody out there. Does that make it the right somebody? No. But it depends what you're willing to settle for. Do you want Mr. Right or Mr. Right now? You know, it's up to you. I mean, they're both great options, apparently. But But watch who you settle for. Compromise, don't settle. Okay. Wound mate, in review. Wound mate, soulmate, twin flame, karmic marriage. Wound mates suck. Those are the worst relationships. Karmic marriages are difficult, but we always learn something big about ourselves through them. They're kind of a dirty necessity, if you will. Okay. Soulmates are fantastic. They're just not normally romantic. Twin flames are rare. To be honest, rare. But, you know, yours may be out there waiting for you, still looking for you. So keep looking. Don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Even if somebody tells you to give up, don't. Okay? If you know in your heart and your soul, then you know. And don't listen to anybody that tells you otherwise. So, twin flames. Is it a myth or a reality? I've seen it in reality. So I have to say that it is a reality. Does everyone have a twin flame? No. But that doesn't mean you don't have a destined, perfect romantic partner. I think we all have one of those. Maybe two, maybe three. I mean, you know, it depends what you're into. So don't stop looking. Believe, 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 believe. Don't ever give up hope. And just constantly reevaluate, you know. Not only relationships, but you. Are you happy? Are you learning? You know, what karmic debt are you giving into whatever relationship you're in? You know, it's kind of some interesting things to think about, you know, and review your past relationships. Was it a wound mate? You know, do you have a soulmate that you're relating with right now in your life? If you had a twin flame, what would they bring to a relationship with you? You know, what would you have to give to a twin flame relationship? What big things would you do together? You know, these are things that if you want that, you need to start thinking about these things, because in order to be with the partner we want to be with, we have to be the partner that they want and need to. Okay? So constant learning, constantly improving, always working for something better. Not looking for something better, working for something better, okay? And if you have a twin flame or a soulmate or a moon mate, or you're in a karmic marriage, let me know. Give me a holler. And have a great day, guys. Love you.